both see T-Busy right there.
Weeknights on Fox Sports Net.
The Minnesota Pro-Am Bass Tour, the biggest and richest bass tournament in the state. Event number 3 is about to get underway here on the Whitefish chain of lakes. Join your host, Chip Lair, as he takes you fishing with Minnesota's best bass anglers as they compete for $10,000. So stick with us. You're in for quite a ride on the Minnesota Pro-Am Bass Tour. The Minnesota Pro-Am Bass Tour is sponsored by Northland Ford and KFAN Radio.
I'm a food truck man, that's all I drive. I ain't got no boundaries, I don't compromise. I'd rather walk 10 miles and beat down on my luck than ride around a block in another kind of pickup truck. If you see me on a highway in a left-hand lane, lost on a back road in a driving rain, up past the timberline where the ride gets rough, ain't no doubt my king of the mountains built for tough.
This is AM 1130.
Hi, this is Captain Billy Hildebrand from Fan Outdoors. Billy's always got some good advice. I've learned a lot about fishing, for sure, and hunting. I enjoy the friendly banter going back and forth. I like listening when fishing's on, fishing's great. When hunting's on, hunting's great. Join us Thursday evenings and Saturday mornings on your outdoor sports leader, KFAN. Make safety a top priority when boating. Make it a habit of wearing your life jacket and make sure your kill switch is attached at all times. Therefore, if you're thrown from the boat, it'll shut the engine down and it'll be okay.
Oh, it's a great chain of lakes. There's actually 12 separate lakes that are connected by channels. So there's really a lot of water for the size of the chain, and each one's a little bit different. It makes it really interesting to fish.
Depending on what the sky does, cloud cover or sunny, will dictate which pattern works better.
It's full of bass. The challenge is finding those that are over about 15 or 16 inches.
The high level of competition here, and the guys who spend more time out here usually do well, and that's the whole ticket.
KFAN Radio is one of the Minnesota Pro-Am Bass Tour's great partners, and KFAN gets kids, young people, involved in the great sport of professional bass fishing. With us here right now is Ed Minzer, one of the young KFAN junior AMs on the Pro-Am Bass Tour this year. Are you having fun?
It's fun, Chip. I mean, I'm having a great time. The blast stops are really fun. You got the adrenaline running. It's fun. It's a blast.
You get paired up with the hottest bass anglers in the state of Minnesota. Every week, you're in the boat with another hot pro. John Lobb, for instance.
Yeah, he's been a great mentor, I guess I can say. He's been a good guy. He's taken me under his wing and having a lot of fun.
Now, I'm sure you're spending lots of time talking to these guys out on the water. Has anybody given you any advice about life?
They give me some good advice. I mean, just take it as it comes. I mean, that's the only thing you can do.
Never give up.
Never give up, no.
And I'll tell you what, there's some guys with some of their lives hanging on the line on the Angler of the Year race on the Minnesota Pro-Am Bass Tour. Let's check those listings.
Well, it's always in the back of your mind. You'd always like to be the Angler of the Year.
And you know Dean is always going to be up there. He's, very good chance that he's going to be in the top 10.
A couple years ago I did it, and my dad's done it, and it'd be nice to do it twice.
There's a lot of close competition.
Gary Birch is leading. He's a good fisherman. He won a tournament a few years back.
And Dean is always somebody that you have to be reckoned with.
Good Northern Lakes fisherman. Obviously, he's leading the points because of it, and hopefully he'll be in second after today.
We're just going fishing. We're going to have fun.
So, man, I'll tell you, this is killing me. I found a little spot right by the takeoff here, and all these boats are running right by it. They only know what's down there. I don't know that they'd want to run by it. Oh, I just keep watching them. I hope they just keep all going. Right on by into the big lake.
Boat number 1.
We're minutes into takeoff, and pro angler Ted Capro knows you don't have to go across the lake to catch fish. Just minutes into the takeoff, he's already got 2 fish. Oh, they're going on their 3rd fish of the day right now. And there is a good 2/3 of the field right behind us right now that hasn't even got across the starting line. He's got a head start on them all. Can the rest of the field keep up?
Ted Capra over there. I don't believe it. I'm chawing at the bit. I want to go fishing.
I haven't even casted yet. I'm going crazy.
6:20 official time.
Got it. It's showtime. Oh, that's a good one. They're on that tube now. That's good. You really got to watch the line. It just, boop, and that's it.
Yep.
Well, we got the first one in the boat. I missed him the first time, and I threw back in, and he come back after it. Must be our lucky day, Barry. Now we just got to get the big boys to cooperate.
Get the net. Okay, get him, get him, get him, get him. All right. Ain't very big, but it's a start. Get the net. There he comes. Little tube action. Early in the morning.
Well, the morning has been slow for us. They've moved somewhat, or you know, they're just not active at this point in time. But we know they're here, so we're going to work this pretty good all morning. There's a fish. Get the net, partner. All right. Here we go. Well, it feels good to break the ice, and they say the toughest fish are the first one and the last one. So we got the first one. Now we got to get 6 more and then go for the last one.
They're here.
Well, we're fishing in one of the smaller lakes. We just caught a 5-pounder, and I caught him on a brush hog. We're just going to keep plugging around right through here and see if we can catch another good fish.
That's why you got to be careful with this. And we're guessing that bigger one's pushing 5 pounds, and that smaller one's, you know, a little over a pound maybe.
He was back up in there, wasn't he, Barry? These fish could be laying by any one little particular weed. They could be anywhere. My heart's starting to pound a little bit. Good day on the water. Good day on whitefish. That's a dandy.
Get the net. 3-4 casts, 3-4 fish. Harvest them. All you do is you just Texas rig it, put it back in there. Some guys peg them, some guys don't. I'll peg them in this real thick stuff like this to see it. Oh, we got one going. Let's go. Keep him coming. You got to pull like a son of a gun. Yeah, you got him. He's on there. He's on there. Yeah. That a boy. Look at them weeds. Are we having fun yet? It's like Christmas. We ain't got time to talk about tackle. We're busy.
The Minnesota Pro-Am Bass Tour is sponsored by Ranger Boats, Star Tribune, and Yamaha Motors.
There is a place where people still care about real quality and innovation, where ideas aren't limited to an 8-hour clock. Performance is measured by your total satisfaction, and attention to detail is a celebrated way of life. Welcome to the Ranger family. Real people, real commitments, and boats that are literally legendary. Discover Yamaha's VMAX power. When you want the best, choose Yamaha.
out of a job you don't like and into one you do. Star Tribune working. In the paper, online, in the mail, and at events.
Brace yourself for the Yamaha VMAX lineup for 2003, featuring the hot new VMAX 250h PVI. Its next-generation high-pressure direct injection delivers the highest top speed of any bass engine Yamaha's ever made. An all-new lower unit design keeps you flying straight as an arrow and farther on every gallon of fuel. Awesome power, incredible control. The heart-pounding VMAX lineup from Yamaha.
When our camera boats hit the water, there are some anglers we know are going to give us an exciting show. One of those anglers is our 2002 Angler of the Year, Brad Leiferman. Whether the cameras are rolling or not, whether there's a tournament or not, Brad Leiferman's all about putting fish in the boat. Let's get to know him.
We've been to Whitefish and Gull, Vermilion, Minnetonka, Lake Lahamadou, Grand Rapids, what am I thinking of? Pokegama. Many, many, many lakes.
Doug and Dolores Leiferman don't miss many Minnesota Pro-Am Bass Tour events. They've got a great reason not to.
2599! Brad Leiferman jolts himself into first place.
I get so excited. It never, ever, the excitement never does go away because we've had a lot of them over the last few years.
Brad Leiferman has made his mark when it comes to tournament fishing. An entire wall of the garage is testament to that. But long before the lure of competition was the simple pleasure of quality family time.
My father always made sure that we went on vacation as a family. And he bought a homemade cedar strip boat from a neighbor that built it in his garage, and he bought a 2-horse Ilgen, and we would go to Bailu Resort up on Upper Hay Lake on the lower end of the Whitefish chain. And we would go there for a week, sometimes 2 weeks. And we would just fish.
And fish, and fish, and fish.
My dad would roll and I would cast. Push button reels, okay, homemade hook, and we would catch them and we'd eat them. We'd put them on stringers and my mom would cook them in flour and we'd eat fish, and that really what got us going.
There's your winner at 24.82 pounds.
Brad got going all right, and eventually he outgrew the homemade cedar strip boat with the 2-horse motor. Dad's role has also changed from mentor to spectator, and that support has meant the world to this son.
I don't know what it'll be like someday to not see him standing on the end of a dock with his camera hanging there, and all he wants to know is if I got a limit.
And that information is of interest to the entire Leiferman family.
Miss Capper told us that he had 4s and 5s. I'm kind of nervous now.
Behind every successful angler is a supportive and understanding family. Brad never seems to lose sight of that fact, and he never forgets how it all got going in the first place.
I just feel very fortunate, and I want to thank my father for taking me bass fishing 20-some years ago, because it's meant so much. I don't know what I would have done.
Welcome back to the Minnesota Pro-Am Bass Tour. We are well into the 3rd event of the year here on the Whitefish chain. And what a great day it's been so far. Lots of fish being caught amongst the ever-changing conditions. Anglers have had to deal with a little bit of sun, a little bit of clouds, just changing conditions all day. So let's get back out on the water with Minnesota's best bass anglers and see how they're attacking the situation.
Yeah, we just ease over there. Dave, I think what we'll do is go back where we had the action at the first 5 fish we caught in 15 minutes. These pads over here seem to have all the fish concentrated in one area. We go back where the action was at. Got him? Got him? 80-pound test braided line and a strong rod. There we go. That's not bad. We just caught our 9th fish. So we have an 8-fish limit, so that one last one we'd be able to maybe gain a few ounces, you know, maybe 4 or 5 ounces with that last fish we caught. Nice job. Hopefully we can get some better fish on top now with the cloud cover.
The whitefish chain gives anglers plenty of water to choose from. And so far today, we've seen it's loaded full of fish. The challenge is going to be what is going to bring the best 8 bass to that scale. We're seeing these anglers throwing lots of different presentations. Some topwater, some jig worms, plastic worms, Texas rigs, all different sizes of presentations, colors. It's all going to come down to that little tiny detail that's going to produce the biggest bag of bass. And we're going to give away $10,000 on the stage this afternoon for the champion who finds out that secret presentation.
We've got our 8 fish. Now we just go for the bigger fish. We got 2 decent ones. That helps out when you get these right away. Gator. Gator?
My day's been going pretty good. Catching a lot of fish, just not the size we've been looking for. And we got 16 pounds in the well, and you got to get at least to 24 somehow.
Well, Ben, basically we're going to be idling down here to these next set of docks. Hey, there's those little kids again. He's got the classic full brim fishing hat, you know, he's even got a couple flies on the front of it there, and he's doing it right here out today on the whitefish chain. We hit one fish right away, about 2 pounds or so. Then after that, we couldn't get anything going out deep, so we moved in shallow. We're fishing the docks now. We've put 5 more in the boat, so we're sitting with 6 in the well.
Stick your head in the live well, you get wet.
We're fishing the edge of a weed line. There's rocks right outside the edge of the weeds here, and those fish just tend to move in and out here. Just like that. The problem is we have to sort through a lot of little ones to get a couple good ones. We've been pretty fortunate, had a limit in about an hour and a half right away this morning, and now we're just looking for a little bigger fish.
In the whitefish chain, there's over 10 lakes these anglers can choose from. However, tournament fishing is interesting. Sometimes it comes down to certain spots. Here, if you look over our shoulder, you can see there's a number of boats congregated on the same weed bed. How do they decide who has the right to what area of that weed bed? They do by throwing out a marker. That marker indicates it's their spot, and that gives them a clear zone of 50 feet to choose from. Are those right 8 fish inside that 50 feet?
We started out pretty good. We got a bigger fish than I've caught on this lake, but right now we only have 3. We're just looking for some keepers.
I've been professionally fishing for about 7 years. I was lucky enough my dad took me out a lot as a kid and got me hooked on it. Maybe we didn't catch a lot of fish. Sorry, Dad. But here's one. But he taught me how fun it can be, and that's the key.
What I'm hoping is this boat traffic kind of stirs things up a little bit and gets these fish active. I don't know if it disorients the bait that they're after, but sometimes the boat traffic gets them riled up a little bit. Here we go. That makes, I think, 7 little ones. And the strategy is just finding some bigger fish now. Fish on. Fish on.
Oh, it's fast. I got it.
See my net? Net job. Didn't even have to do it. We're throwing jigs. We found that in the morning you start out with green, afternoon it goes to brown and black, and in the afternoon it goes to black. Don't know why, but it's happening. Fast. We don't have a limit, but we're working on it. It's another 1.5 pounds in our live well.
The Minnesota Pro-Am Bass Tour is sponsored by Aqua Innovations and Fox Sports.
Tournament anglers realize how important it is to keep their catch alive. They use the Magnum Live Well Oxygenator by Aqua Innovations to maintain a desired oxygen level in the boat's live well. The Magnum not only keeps game fish alive until their release, you can use your live well as a highly oxygenated bait well too. Aqua Innovations, we put the O in H2O. www.aquainnovationsinc.com.
Enjoy the great outdoors every Saturday and Sunday on Fox Sports Net.
If the dog days of summer have you overheated, take the plunge and head to the Whitefish chain of lakes. With over 14,000 acres of water, 200 miles of shoreline, and 14 islands to explore, the Whitefish chain offers something for everyone. It's no stretch to say that Whitefish is a favorite Minnesota playground.
Anticipation is high and the fever pitch is in the air with less than an hour to go of the Whitefish event for the Minnesota Pro-Am Bass Tour. It's going to be an exciting day. The anglers only have a little bit of time left. So let's get in their boats and see how they approach the final countdown.
Got one. Little one. We need a couple more nice fish. We get 2 more in the 3-pound range, and we got a chance at this thing, so not bad, huh?
Hopefully we can get a few more like that. I'm just having a hard time deciding if I should fish fast or fish slow right now. I'm thinking I should scramble and stick with the top water and see if I can get a big hog to come up and grab it, or fish the reliable jig worm. Maybe I'll do a little bit of both.
Yeah, we got about 10 minutes left to fish. We've been picking up fish here all day long. Usually at the end of the day, if we're working a spot for a long period of time, then we'll change colors just to give the fish something else to look at.
Great day always. Little one. Little one. They come in bunches. It seems like there's almost some schools coming in here or something. We'll go a half hour with nothing, and then all of a sudden, boom, 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 we'll get 3 or 4. There's my sloppy net. Oh, we might get a couple ounces more. Oh, yeah. That boy, partner. That boy. There we go. There's a couple extra ounces on that one. It's good to be the king. Let's rock.
Who's bringing in the biggest bass and taking home $10,000? We'll find out right after this. The Minnesota Pro-Am Bass Tour is sponsored by Media Rare and the Minnesota State Lottery.
Yeah?
The power went out.
Yeah, I know. I got it. Yeah.
Cleaner lakes can begin in your own home. Simple things like composting coffee grounds keeps water quality from going down the drain.
I don't send an enormous amount of nitrogen and phosphates to the treatment facility.
Using that compost to help your grass and garden grow means no need for phosphorus-containing fertilizers. And don't neglect that often abused boulevard. That's the best barrier for pollutants that can flood into the street and ultimately the lake. And finally, if it feels good, go wild. A more natural look can look nice. Doing less might just mean more to great water quality.
The Whitefish chain produced lots of limits of largemouth bass today, making it a very tight race. Although two sets of anglers lofted themselves above the rest, showing their true professionalism. One being Angler of the Year Brad Leiferman, his co-angler Jeffrey Nelson, bringing 25.99 pounds to take second place.
26.72. These are your first place winners.
John Root, in just his fourth event as a pro on the Minnesota Pro-Am Bass Tour, put it together with co-angler Paul Roush for $10,000, bringing in 26.72 pounds of bass. Congratulations, guys. Good job. We're here with our Whitefish champions, John Root and Paul Roush. 26.74 pounds, a largemouth bass between the two of them. The best part is, this is only your fourth Pro-Am Bass Tour as a pro.
That's it. It was, what a fourth tournament to be in. It was just awesome. We had a great day today, and we were more or less not fishless, but we only had 3 or 4 fish in the boat by 11 o'clock. And we found a spot, and it was a mother lode, and they were in there stacked, and it was pandemonium.
Here's the great part. You are up against some of the hottest sticks in bass fishing in Minnesota. What techniques were you guys using to pull out those monster bass?
I used a jig and pig, and I used a rubber trailer on it. We also used, Paul had a tube rigged Texas style, and we found a spot and fished slow, and they were there, and they were all big ones, and it was just great.
I'll tell you what, those are days that bass dreams are made out of. Why don't we show some of these people what bass dreams look like, and to end up with a $10,000 first place check and to be the 2003 Whitefish champion, you got to catch largemouth bass like that. It's their first win, and the Minnesota Pro-Am Bass Tour is off to Rainy Lake for its first time ever, and we're going to find out who is the Angler of the Year on the Minnesota Pro-Am Bass Tour. We'll see you there.
Wardrobe provided by Carhartt and Irish Setter.